money grow. Who really real? Tell me how you really feel. Keep it Uncle Phil. Do you kill like a Navy SEAL? Rolling off a pill, very trill. You ain't got a deal. Do you really still rob the stove?
Look at me out here in this hot Texas heat to talk to y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. What is up? What is up? What is up? It's your boy J. Lou, player development guru, student athlete success advocate, and we back again, long overdue, for our next episode when we're talking about our identity discovery series. I ain't even gonna fake it. I don't even have an excuse for why a video hasn't dropped yet, outside of the fact that I have not been managing time well, despite a further workload. See, it even sounds like I'm making an excuse right now. Shut up, Jermaine. Just be better. Yes, sir. Anyways, back again with another episode, and I ain't even gonna fake it to you. I want to get straight to the time. I want to get straight to our talking material, because we got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time, so we got to go ahead and get straight to it. I hope that your summer's been well so far. If you in Texas, it's hot. If you up north, I hope that you still been burning up. If you down south, well, I hope the job is staying warm. Some of y'all probably been smelling crazy, but that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna mind my business though. But watch this. Hey man, before I fully go into our discussion, I just want y'all to take a walk with me. Like physically, get up, and let's walk. Come on, man. The fact that, look, I'm too tired for all that. My head hurting, I've been sweating. Look, man, I'm over here. I ain't even light skinned no more at this point. I literally am caramel. Stop playing with me. People who got mufflers, their cars would be too loud. Turn them down, turn it off. Anyways, imagine you have a device that we all traditionally call a GPS. Most of us familiar with the piece of technology that's described as a GPS. It helps us navigate from one place to the next place. As a matter of fact, if you're in Dallas, Texas, this GPS will literally tell you what routes you want to take if you want to avoid traffic, if you don't want to be on the toll road because they like to charge an arm and a leg. And the whole time, the toll road literally is just supposed to be paid to fix roads, and all of a sudden, roads always be, never mind, it's neither here nor there. It will not just show you where you're trying to go, it will tell you every turn, it will tell you your time of arrival. Now, in life, clearly, life does not give us that form of a GPS. Life oftentimes will give us a GPS that will guide us despite detours, that will guide us along a journey. It does not tell us time of arrival. It does not tell us every turn that we take. But for the GPS that the Lord decided to give us, known as the Holy Spirit, it does its job pretty well. Now, I want you to imagine that you literally have this capable device in your car, and you begin to drive in a direction. But you never type an address into your GPS. You never give it a geographical location to establish where you are in relation to where you are overall trying to go. So you literally have something that is capable of guiding you, yet you are not being guided, and so you find yourself lost. It's not because you do not have a guide, but you are not actively using that guide because you have not established to that guide where you intend to go. Now, just like this example, just like in life, some of us are doing the same thing because we have absolutely, positively, unequivocally, I'm just using big words for no reason, my fault. We don't know where we want to go. We don't know what we want to do or what we're even here to do. And therefore, we do not know where we are supposed to go. We do not have the information to be able to feed into a GPS system so that we can adequately navigate this thing we call life/adulthood. And it is not because we are incapable. We simply are ignorant. To be ignorant means to not know. Therefore, I cannot maximize the capabilities of a GPS system until it is established, not just who I am, not just what I'm here to do, but overall, where I'm going. And I want to just go ahead and highlight one of the primary hindrances to us being clear on our direction that we're supposed to go in life. And we're going to call it 2 words: exposure deficit. I'm properly define it for us. Exposure deficit literally is what it means. It's a lack of exposure. I want to go ahead and just give you more practical application of that for athletes transitioning out of athletics and into adulthood. Or even for young adults that are trying to transition into career paths, right? Finding that thing that drives them, finding that thing that is the reason why they wake up, right? Like, what does exposure deficit look like? How does it form? Well, as a child, I grew up and I was an athlete. I played sports, soccer, baseball, football, began running track. First, I would go to practice. After practice, I would then play outside, and me and my friends, we'd play games. Most of that involved sports. We were doing athletic things, right? And then after that, then I would go inside. And yes, I'm watching Cartoon Network. Yes, I'm watching Disney Channel. Yes, I'm watching Disney XD. Yes, I'm watching Jetix. Yes, I'm watching Boomerang. Yes, I'm watching all the shows. But intermixed in between that, I'm watching sports. right? I'm watching football, I'm watching basketball, I'm watching baseball. And so a lot of my life revolved around athletics. I had a father that was an athlete collegiately. My life revolved around athletics. All I'd ever seen was athletics. So all I ever wanted to be was an athlete. So, please forgive me that at the ripe age of 25, I'm 26 now, but at 25, please forgive me when I find myself asking the question of where am I going and I don't know. Please forgive me if I find myself asking myself the question of what I want to do and I don't know. Please forgive me if I find myself asking the question of overall, who am I? And I literally don't know. Please forgive me if I find myself in adulthood, yet I'm still aimless. Where I find myself present in a place called a job, but I do not have the underlying reason as to why my presence is necessary. Because I don't know who I am. When I don't know who I am, I do not know the value that I add. If I don't know the value that I add, I do not know the assignment of my season. I do not know the corresponding reason as to why I'm present. I might know why a company is paying me, but I do not know why God has sent me. And so I'm paid, but I'm empty. My pockets are full, but my spirit is empty. Pockets filled, but I'm not fulfilled. Right? This leads overall for us as athletes. We will then begin to believe the only thing that can fulfill us is athletics. Athletics for most of us was the first time we experienced fulfillment. It was the first time we experienced affirmation. Just because it's the first thing that has fulfilled you does not mean it's the only thing that can fulfill you. They gave us aim. They gave us some sense of purpose. Just because it's the first time we experience those things in the avenue of athletics does not mean that's the only avenue that can supply us with those things. If you're not careful, you'll be an athlete that walks around and literally says, I don't have any passion outside of the sport I used to play. So you ask them that question. What's your passions? I don't know. What's your aim? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. Do you know how funny it is to be an adult? And people ask you, what do you want to do? While you literally got a job that got you doing something for 40 hours. And you literally don't know what you want to do. But you're doing something for 40 hours. So in other words, we're working and occupying time, but we're not doing what we're on the earth to do. So we're existing, but what causes us to go from existing to living is when we begin to do the thing that makes our existence necessary to begin with. Like when you find the reason as to why God is supplying your breath, your lungs with air. Because your lungs have air in them because God loves you. Yes, but he does want you to live, but corresponding with his desire for you to live, he gave you a function. He says, I want you to live because I love you, but I also want you to live so that you can do this. And it's our job as young adults to begin to find, he loved me, but he also sent me to do something. And these are the questions I like to ask to get me excited. When I walk in the room, what just walked in the room? When people are talking to me, who are they actually talking to? When I leave the place, what just walked out of the place? When I know who I am, I have an understanding of what is added when I'm added. I have an understanding of what is subtracted when I leave. I have an understanding of what people are connecting to when they connect with me. I have an understanding because I have identity. If you're that athlete that says, I don't know. If you're that individual that says, I don't know, I'm going to give you 2 words that gave a lot of people, myself included, so much hope. I don't know, just because you don't know your passion or you're unaware of your passions does not mean you don't have them. Just because something goes undiscovered does not mean it's non-existent. If something goes undiscovered and I say it's non-existent, I don't search. If I say it's undiscovered, that don't mean it's non-existent. I begin searching. So do you see how the way you define something alters what you do about it? It's neither here nor there. So there's 2 letters I want you to say. Whenever you're going to adjectively describe yourself, I want you to put 2 words in front of whatever adjective you're going to use to describe you right now. So I'm aimless. I'm lost. I'm discouraged. I'm depressed. I'm downtrodden. It's a dark time. Just put 2 words in front of them. Just put 2 words in front of all them adjectives. Right now. Right now, I'm aimless. Right now, I'm lost. Right now, I don't know what my passion is. Right now, I lack direction. Right now, I'm not clear on my identity. Why is it so important to say right now before you say that? Because right now simply suggests that in your today, that is your reality. But oh, there is going to come a day. Oh, there's going to come a time where your right now no longer is that reality. Where your right now begins to change. So right now in this very moment, I'm aimless. But if I get to a new moment, what I say about it might shift. What I say about a new moment might change. Like in that moment, I didn't know. But in this moment, when God moved, now I know. See, right now, in that moment, I found myself aimless. But then I found myself having an encounter and conversation with purpose. And I began to pick up the phone on my call. And now I was aimless, but now I got aim. I was inactive, but now I'm convicted. See, when I say right now, it simply is an indication that I have no intention of it remaining that way. Right now, I'm depressed. Right now, I'm discouraged. On this day, I'm discouraged. But see, sometimes my acknowledgement of my today alters my actions that day to help me build a better and brighter future. So sometimes I acknowledge what's happening today because I need to alter my actions today to build a better tomorrow. So right now, I might find myself depressed, but ooh, when I know that I find myself discouraged today, it changes what I do today because of the tomorrow I intend to walk into. So look at whatever you would say to describe the situation and say, right now. Just right now. Do not put words of permanency over what is temporary. I believe the Bible tells us like this, that weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Therefore, in the night it might endure, but there is something about your weeping that is not permanent. So watch what you say about the times of sadness, discouragement, weeping, because it might. That means it's not even probable, nor is it guaranteed to even be able to endure the night. But there is something that's guaranteed to come in the morning. Weeping may, but joy will. Don't activate the preacher in me, because I'll run. I'll end the whole video and start shouting. Stop playing with me. So let's continue to switch gears. Let's dive deeper into it, right? Exposure deficit. That I have literally experienced fulfillment one set way, and now I believe that's the only way that I can be fulfilled. No. That's just the only way that that's just the only avenue you've walked down. Because this is oftentimes the problem with most of us. When all we are is exposed to athletics and all we have is the identity of athlete, most of what becomes a limiting factor for most of us is we never flip the switch. Most of us literally go all throughout adulthood still thinking the same way we did as athletes. That some of us still have an NCAA mentality, but our life is no longer in the NCAA. Some of what you don't do, or some of what you do not want to do, is simply because of what you are currently not. Is that the biggest limitation for some of us as athletes is perspective. Not capacity, not potential, not talent, perspective. For some of us, the biggest thing holding us back from being impactful in the workplace, from being impactful in the community, from fully aligning our life with the call that is over it. Some of our biggest limiting factor, it's not an ability thing. It's not a skill set thing. It has everything to do with not what you see, but the way you see. See, some of us got good sight. We just don't have good perspective. See, some of us got 20/20 sight. We just don't have clear perspective. That some of you are walking in your mission field right now. Some of you are in the area of your assignment right now. You simply just don't see it. That some of us are literally praying for God's activity, but our lack of clarity is negating whatever God is trying to do. That some of you literally might be clocking into your call every day, but you simply see it as a job, simply see it as a place to make money and not a place to make impact. So you literally are talking to your assignment and don't see it. You interacting with your assignment and don't see it. You got your assignment calling you and you don't see it. You are interacting with people as if they're only people and not your assignment. You are interacting with people as if they're only people and not a part of your purpose. You see them clearly. You see they got nice cool eyes, they about 5'8", 6'2", You can physically see them clearly. You're just not seeing them correctly. You see the job clearly. You just don't see it correctly. You see the community clearly. You just don't see it correctly. And there are certain times where you literally will highlight a problem in a place and you'll say, somebody needs to, or this needs to. And you have no idea that if you were to literally take your words, stand in a mirror and repeat the same words, repeat the same problem, you are literally talking to the solution. Come on, my young adults fully transitioning into adulthood. You think that you gotta be in your 30s and 40s to make a difference? You think that you gotta have gray hairs to be able to provide some kind of insight and wisdom? You think that you gotta be seen as an impactful person before you start making impact? Do you understand that the only way people see impactful people is because they was already, come on. Sometimes what we don't do is because of what we can't see yet. Notice, I always say yet, or I always say right now. Hey, right now you can't see it. But I believe that there's a reality where you become clear in the area that you was once blind. I believe that there's a reality where you literally will have 20/20 vision in a place that used to be 20/80. I believe that an area where you were once aimless is an area where you are now convicted. I believe that an area where you were once average and mediocre is the same area where you decide that you're going to be great in that space. Lack of clarity and a limited perspective oftentimes is seen because you are only exposed to one thing your whole life. And so you only see yourself as one way. So here's how I can help. So here's how we help. Because this is the common belief right here. And this is where I'm going to close. I'm going to get up out of here. I was going to give y'all some data and some stats. Probably not going to do that because in all honesty, some of y'all probably don't care about the data and the stats anyway. Just get to the point, right? So here's where exposure deficit shows up. Most of us as athletes, what were we told growing up? Hey fam, you need to fully focus on this sport. You need to lock in on this. You need to only be worried about this, right? And so any attempt to explore any other interests outside of your current passion is seen as something that will take away from the sport, from your athletic journey, and it will stunt your growth and your performance. That was our belief, right? So here, let me dismantle that belief real quick. I want you to understand that when you are exploring other interests outside of athletics, that is a strategic investment in your future. It does not take away from your today. It is just you investing in your tomorrow because you know that there's going to come a day where in your tomorrow, athletics is not going to be the same part of it. So when you're exploring other interests, whether it's something technical, whether it can be marketing, it can be something entrepreneurial, it can be community service, it can be something altruistic, it can be something creative. If you are exploring it, you are strategically investing in being exposed to different experiences to help you understand what you like, what you dislike, what you have a passion for, what you don't have a passion for, what interests you and what does not interest you, so that by the time you're transitioning out of athletics, you have an idea of what you overall want to do. Now, caveat, let me help you because this is where a lot of us get in trouble. Inspiration does not mean automatically get at. The time when you are inspired to do something does not necessarily mean it's the time to do it. Sometimes you need to prepare for it. Yep. This is the mistake I made in college. This was the mistake I made. I began to read my word and I started to realize I got a passion to preach. I got a passion to lead, right? Like on my teams, I got influence. People follow me, right? I got a passion to teach. I want to share this gospel. I want to share this truth. I love the motivation to speak. I like to teach the word, all these things. It was great. This is where I mismanaged the season of my life. Because I thought the time where I'm inspired to do it means that's also the season to go all in on it. That was not the time to go all in. It was the time to prepare for when it is appropriate to go all in. Because as an athlete, when I'm a quarter horse, I need to be fully invested in my sport. So it's good. I found my interest. I found my passion. Write about it. Bookmark it. So that when you're no longer an athlete, let's do it. What did I do? I started staying up late to study. I was staying up late for content. I was staying up late to write. I was staying up late to read. And so now as an athlete, if I'm getting less sleep, I'm not recovering the same. Well, if I'm not recovering the same, now my performance does take a hit. And so I'm sitting over here blaming my assignment for underperformance or injuries. The only reason I mismanaged my assignment of today was because I was mismanaging my assignment of tomorrow. I believe if I was called to preach and teach, I needed to do it now. When in reality, that was not the time to do it now. It was the time to prepare for it for when it's appropriate. So for you, it can be the same. A lot of people in today's time, they want to build a personal brand. They want to do the content creation. They want to do anything that's marketing related or finance related. And I'm not saying don't explore those interests. What I am saying is athletics does need a majority of your focus if you're going to maximize your talent. It does. Correspondingly though, bookmark it, write about it, and prepare for it. I'll give y'all some stats. 70% of athletes that do what we call early specialization. Early specialization is when the athlete that is 14 years or younger decides to focus on one sport. And a majority of those athletes, as much as we think those are the ones that go on to go pro, fam, there's a reason why sometimes you'll see an NBA player that's very prolific and you'll see them on the football field going dumb. Or you'll see some of them that ran track going dumb a little bit. Or you'll see a football player that was on the court going dumb or on the track going dumb. You want to know why? They did not specialize in just one thing, right? The athletes that only specialize in one thing, in accordance to studies, 70% of them burn out. 60% of them end up experiencing overwork and overuse injuries because they are activating the same muscles over and over and over again over a certain period of time. Wear and tear starts to happen and they start to experience season-ending and career-ending injuries. That is statistically what happens. A majority of what is considered an athlete is not one person that is good at one thing. Think about a track athlete. If I'm fast, I'm just fast. If I can translate that speed to a field, now I'm considered athletic. So if my talents can translate, that's athletic. Overall, that means I'm a more complete athlete as I diversify my experience. When it comes to exposure deficit, the answer to exposure deficit is diversification of your experiences. But you are intentionally diversifying your experience so that you can be a more complete you. Because it's very hard to be great at something and also incomplete. Pops into my mind is even Lynn Swann. Lynn Swann was a prolific wide receiver for the Steelers. He was very good at catching the ball, feet remaining in bounds. He was very good at body control, maintaining his balance. What did he also do? Ballet. There are things that he was doing outside of his sport that made him more complete so that he could be more effective at his sport. When it comes to life in general, there are things that you need to expose yourself to so that you can be a more complete version of you for the thing that you're supposed to do. Primary example, as a speaker, where do I start to diversify? Hey man, I can talk to athletes all day, I really can. I can motivate athletes all day, I really can. I just got done partnering with FCA, who's over at the high schools in Prosper, Texas. We can motivate, share the gospel with that all day. That's my bread and butter. But I say, hey man, I don't just want to be limited to athletes. I want to talk to students. So I'm going to work with schools. I'm going to work with student athletes in the schools and the students. I'm going to do student ministry in my church. On top of that, I'm also going to sit with corporate leaders because I also want to understand how to solve corporate problems. I want to diversify. I want to be a more complete speaker. If I want to be impactful and bring my gift into any room, then I do not want to limit myself to the rooms I can walk in. I want to be able to talk to your executive experts and your beginner levels and your entry level people. I want to be able to solve all their problems. I don't just want to go to schools and talk to the student athletes. I need to be able to talk to the students. So I need to understand the problems that the students face and the student athletes face, which some of them can be pretty similar. I want to understand these things so that I can diversify. Now, I'm literally going to do the same thing. I'm going to speak. I'm going to solve a problem with words. I'm just literally diversifying the people, places, and things I expose myself to be able to be a more complete speaker. Same thing goes for you. You got to diversify yourself to more and more experiences intentionally so that you can be more complete. So that when you get to the thing that you're overall supposed to do, you're not limited to how you can do it. Because sometimes your mission is going to require you to be something that you need to have already developed into. But that's my spiel. Aside from that, like I said, I gotta go. If you don't hear anything else I say, I want you to take on the key points. First and foremost, the way you describe yourself in your situation, make sure you put it right now in front of it at all times. Do not put permanent words on temporary situations. Remember that. Also, if you are exposing yourself to more interests, it's a strategic investment you're making today for a better tomorrow. Keyword to that is investment. There are some things that are a good investment or bad investment. Some stuff you know good and well is dumb. It ain't got nothing to do with what you on the earth to do. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. Invest. It is intentional, it is directional, and it is overall necessary. And lastly, diversify your experiences, because the problem to exposure deficit is to diversify so that you can be a more complete version of you. Aside from that, it's your boy J. Lou, 3 to the 1 to the 4, and I'm out without it. Forgot, if you got any further questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to DM me. I'm gonna try to make myself as available as possible. I look forward to hearing from y'all. Love y'all, praying for y'all. May y'all go in peace. Y'all have a good rest of y'all week.